It really does smoke navy blue.
Is it going to eventually cost David Teague his job, that performance?
Or, yeah, those performances like that on the weekend, absolutely.
What do you think it does to the overall picture?
It's bleak. It's really, really bleak.
Well, I think in a sense it's a damaging loss that probably has done a few favours, in a bizarre sense, to the football club.
People inside the club also tell me that there's like a cloud hanging over Icon Park at the moment. There's going to be wholesale changes of some sort.
Either the players don't believe in it or they've got some knuckleheads that just don't know what to do, because too many times they're getting caught out as the ball's transition from one end to the other. Massive holes in their defensive structure.
So I wonder behind the scenes, is David Teague holding the senior players to account? Is he hitting up those senior players? Because consistently their standards are not up to scratch.
Yep. And the way that the group refuses to buy into really important aspects of AFL football has me extremely concerned for David Teague. Been around footy long enough, you know this is only ending one way.
I just think now that they think it's time for a change, and I do believe that that will happen at the end of the season.
As he walked to the car on Saturday, it must have been grim.
He has to fight so hard now, Jerry.
So a couple of real or overreactions out of that, Gaz, and some of it is around what's going to transpire. It is the hot lights of Friday night, and yet the review might be complete. So Friday night is irrelevant if the review is in.
Well, if we're led to believe that they're about to present on their findings, then there's not the blood in the water game that we perhaps anticipate on Friday night, is it? I mean, if you sit there and you present and say, here are our findings, I guess you've got to work out what it is the review's doing. They're making the recommendation and then the powers that be are going to make their decisions based on that, or is it the recommendations are going to be put into place? So if they're done, well, Friday night becomes irrelevant. What if they win by 10 goals? What if they win by 10 goals for the next 4 weeks and the review's in? I'm not sure. I don't know. I think this is just part of it. It has to be part of a fact-gathering exercise, and then someone within that situation, Kane Little it has to be, he sits back and makes a call.
So with 4 games to go, if the work is presented, what does Carlton do? Do they... And if there is going to be sweeping change, and that's certainly the read that I have, is you can't move everybody out with 4 games to go because you simply wouldn't be able to stage the exercise of getting the team out there.
No, and it depends on how big an issue they see getting into the market for a coach, if in fact it goes that way, and how much of the pressure they feel from that point of view. So, I mean, and John Barker's not there too. If you were to make a decision on a coach somewhere along the way, if it was to be made, then whether there's an heir apparent there or not, I'm not exactly sure in the short term. So, I don't know. I hope they've got it much clearer in their mind than I have from the outside looking in. It seems to be, I don't know why they'd be handing it down if in fact they are this week with 4 weeks to go, and what that means for the next 4 weeks.
It's hard to operate under a stay of execution.
Well, of course it is. But, I mean, if last week was such a telling result, which we're led to believe it is, then the next 4 weeks all of a sudden become irrelevant, irrespective of whether he comes out and coaches the lights out on Friday night and puts the Kilda to the sword with the defensive mindset that comes back, and he squashes and squeezes, and Max King can't get off the leash, and Jack's, and all of a sudden you get to sit there on Monday, well, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. The verdict's in.
It's an unenviable position, I think, for the coach to be in. So I got one on-field one relating to Friday night because it is a big stage, and Charlie Curnow has been spoken about. Rushing Charlie now is just crazy.
Yeah, I think that's real. I'm not in that rush situation. I know and there are the school of thought of saying if he's ready, he's ready. I don't know whether you can make that decision on the basis that we haven't had a competitive AFL for the best part of however long, and he's been running around and everyone tells you he's in great nick of training and he's doing these scratch matches, but we know everyone.
The counter view is he's rusty as all get out.
Yes, well, that's right. And we know that there's nothing like it. So what's the upside? He gets a little bit of confidence out of the fact that he's been able to get through some AFL footy before a big pre-season again. I think the downside's much greater than that, so I'm not sure why. So I think that's real, Jared. For you,